What is up everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, welcome to my channel. Josephine Fares here. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video even though you haven't watched it. In today's video I am going to be showing you guys a pretty much review and comparison with the Rose Gold Original and the Rose Gold Remastered palette, which are these two beautiful palettes here by the lovely Huda Beauty, which are my absolute favorite palette. So if you want to know which one works better, if this one is better, if it's even worth the money, if even this one's worth your money, then continue watching this video. This is a requested bronzed look from one of my amazing and beautiful followers. So if you do have any other requested looks that you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments down below. I hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial. Don't forget to share this video with all your friends and your family, and I hope to see you on board my journey. Let's just get right into it. Alright, so to get started, I've already got my eyebrows done. I've primed my eyes with concealer. I haven't set it. I like to keep it the concealer wet. It gives your pigment from your eyeshadow a lot more pigmentation and consistency. It does last a lot longer onto your skin also. So in today's video, I'm so excited to do this video. We are going to be comparing and reviewing the new Huda Beauty Rose Gold Remastered palette. So originally she had her normal Rose Gold palette, which looks like this. It did come with a clear casing. This was her first eyeshadow palette. It didn't have a mirror. The pigment in the eyeshadows were not too bad. They weren't the best. These weren't as creamy. These had more like, how can you say it? It just looked like a flat shade when you picked them up, but when you look at this palette, when I open it up, you're just going to tell the difference. You're going to see it straight away. Like in this palette, the new one that she has made, she has put a lot more effort into it. The creaminess of this palette is amazing. You can just see that when you touch it, it's so soft and delicate. So this is her new palette. And you can see from the top shades, like if you were to touch it, it just digs in and it's just like straight away onto your finger. So that's absolutely amazing pigment. And even the red shade, the brown shade, she has swapped a few shades around. So I'm going to show you the other palette and just put them together. Change, and as you can see, like I was saying, the red shade here is a little bit less pigmented than the new shade, same as the brown shade. Also, even the black is more of a jet black now. You've got your orange tone also, which is a lot more pigmented. So all the shades have a lot more pigment in them. The shade colors are a little bit different in the top. So she's changed like Trust Fund to like, actually Trust Fund and Rose Gold is so much nicer on the new palette. Like if you see here Rose Gold, I just want it to focus for you guys. It's like very, I can't even explain it, like a rough shade, these two. These are my most hardest shades to use in this eyeshadow palette compared to this. So let's just take a look at that. So there you've got the Rose Gold and you've got Trust Fund, and you can already see the creaminess. Let me just swatch that. So that's that one and Trust Fund. Let's swatch a couple more. Let's do the 24K Gold, which is amazing. That's absolutely beautiful. I'll swatch that red shade for you. So that's Man Eater, and I'm going to swatch Man Eater onto the other palette, and that's from the other palette. So that's the difference. So that's Trust Fund from the other palette, and that's Trust Fund from the new palette. So can we see the difference in that? Let's do Rose Gold. Oh, look at Rose Gold compared to the new Rose Gold. Like, that would just tell you, oh my god, what the hell? Like, look at the pigment. It's more of a chromey shade. It looks beautiful. Like, that never actually picked up any pigment. It was one of my hardest shades to use on the eyeshadow palette. So those are a couple of the swatches. Let me actually just, oh wow. So they're from the new palette and they're from the old palette. So just from those little swatches, you can already tell which one has more pigmentation throughout it. and the shades are just more creamier. Like, they're just beautiful. Alright, let me wipe this off my hands and we'll get started on the look. So we're going to start off with the original rose gold palette on one eye, and then I'm going to do the other palette on the other eye, and then we'll see the comparison in pigment, the way it picks up pigment, the way it blends onto my eyes, and then we can tell the difference and see how good the palette is. Alright, so the first shade in the rose gold palette, the original, I'm going to be using is Sandalwood, which is this shade over here. So I'm going to be applying that all around my crease. The thing that I never liked about the rose gold palette is there is no mirror onto it. Always disappointed in that. I always have to use a mirror. I'm just going to use her mirror from her mini palettes, from her Warm Brown Obsessions palette. So I'm going to be using that as my mirror. These shades in this palette, absolutely gorgeous too. I will do a tutorial using this palette and a couple of her other minis also. I'm just going to start by dipping into Sandalwood. I'm going to be tapping off excess. This doesn't come with too much excess, and we'll see how the other one comes off. But yeah, let's just start off, and in circular motion I'm just doing into my crease from the edge of my eye. So first I just start off in a circular motion, brushing it and blending it out, just dipping again for some more pigmentation and blending that through all the way out on my crease. And you can use circular motions just to get that blend working really nice and blend it out to perfection, and going back and forth also. So you want to set this really nice and make sure it's blended, because everything else is going to bounce off this shade. So as you can see, I have dipped into the brown shade a couple of times just to get the pigment to where I want it to go. So this is more of a creamy brown orange shade. So you can say it's a burnt orange shade, but in a lighter tone. So when I see that that is kind of blended to the way that I want it to be blended out, it's covered my crease, it's transitioned it, and everything else can bounce off that color. So the next shade I'm going to be using from the palette is the shade Henna, which is this shade right here, and it is more of the burnt orange tone. So I'm going to be dipping into that shade, and for this I am using a Morphe brush. For my transition shade I did use a Crown Cosmetics brush. So just dipping into my Morphe blending brush, which looks like this. It does not have any numbers on it because they do come in a set. So I'm just adding some shade onto that and tapping off excess. That did have quite a few excess drops from that. Adding into my crease, I don't want to bring it up too high. Again, in a circle, I like to dab it actually first. So I like to put as much pigment as you can here, so that way when you blend it, you're not going back and forth, dipping into your palette. So just adding the pigment to the corners of my creases, then also adding it into the middle, so how do I say it, into the inner corners of my eye drop, so my teardrop line, and into the middle of that, bringing it towards your eyelid, and then you can go ahead and work by blending this around. And you want to slowly work by dabbing it, so applying your brush like up and down, dabbing it around just so the pigment can come out perfectly, and then go ahead and blend that out. And I like to work in circular motion, so bringing your brush like this, instead of swaying your brush from side to side, I'm blending it in a circular motion. So just bringing it in and out in a circular motion, blending it around your crease. And when you get to here, you want to slowly just buff that out. You want to kind of leave that transition shade to bounce off that orange shade also, as you can see here, and you want to slowly blend it. You don't want to go too high. You're going to go back into your transition shade and use that to blend it out. You just want to make sure it's blended into your creases and dabbed on perfectly. I'm going to go back in with my transition brush, dipping back into my Sandalwood shade and going around that, just to transition that shade and blend everything together, making sure it's working well. So that way the lighter part is coming towards the top of my eye compared to this more burnt out effect. Let me know in the comments below any requested videos that you guys would like to see. The look I am doing now towards my eye look is a requested look that my follower did want to see. So any other requested looks you do want to see, please let me know. If there are any palettes you would like for me to review, let me know in the comments down below. So once I have done that and added those two shades in, blended them together, made them work well as a team, and blended it outwards, I'm just going to go back and forth towards the end of the eye just to smoke out that edge, just to bring that orange a little bit more out of the look. So I do love this palette, don't get me wrong. Her new palette just looks so much more amazing than what this palette is. The way these shadows blend on your eyes and work together are beautiful. So I absolutely do love her first palette. It was one of my favourite palettes I ever got onto my hands until I got like Anastasia, Subculture and stuff like that. They're just one of my favourite palettes. But her new palette looks amazing, so I just can't wait to apply it onto my next eye and see the results compared to what this eye is going to look like. The shade in the palette that I'm going to be moving into is the shade Cocoa, and this shade doesn't look as pigmented as the brown in the new shade, so I'm not sure that this eye is going to come out as dark as what the other eye will look, but that's why we're going to mix the black and the brown shade to create that effect also. But for now we're just going to be going in with the shade Cocoa and just using a MAC blending brush. This is a more of a small, starting off from the corners of the end of your eye. You kind of want to create a triangular effect towards the end, so bringing it up one way and then towards the other way in a triangular effect. So as you can see, it kind of brings it into that triangle shape, and then you're going to slowly add that shade into there. You do not want to bring it up too high at all, because this is just going to be a blend of depth into your eye. To be going in with the Crown Cosmetics Brush Pro Blending Crease C330 brush, and I am going to go ahead and blend that out. So I'm not bringing that up too high, I'm just working against that color where I have applied it, just to make sure that it blends out nice and smooth, and bringing it back and forth into that end of the eye. See, I'm not bringing it around, I'm just leaving it towards the end of the eye look. And then slowly you're going to bring it back and forth, and just to make sure everything gets covered and that the blending from here isn't stopping at a harsh point, it gets blended out with the other shades. So as you can see, it's darkened up that look and gave it that little bit of depth into this eye look. So when you think that you've blended that out, also you can go back into the brush that you used to add the more orangier shade, and just go back ahead and dip into the henna shade if you need to, and just go back over that a little bit just to blend that brown shade with it. Go back in with your transition brush just to make sure the top shade also is working well with. The palette is going to be Black Truffle, and that's going to add more depth into the look, just to give it kind of a smoked out effect to it. It's a bronzed out look, so you just want to add that depth into it so the bronze kind of stands out when you add that onto your eyelid. I'm just using an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush that come with the palette, so it's got your buffing side and a smudging side, and I'm using the smudging side just to apply that black shade, and then I am going to blend it out. So first we're going to start off by dabbing that. You do not want to smudge it on, you just want to dab that on first, just so you add the depth only into the area that you want it to be added. You do not want to add too much depth and add it everywhere around the eye, because then you're just going to wreck the whole eye look and it's going to become a messed up smoky eye. So just adding that into that eye, and then I'm going to, using the back part of the brush, buff that out and blend that shade only where I have applied it. You do not want to bring that up too high, you just want to work that colour into that crease, into the edge, and remember that you're kind of bringing it into a triangular effect when you're bringing these out. It's always coming out in a triangular up and around. And then again, blending that out, using circular motions again here just to make sure that it's blended with everything. Going back and dabbing more colour if you feel like you're going to need more shade. Again, going back in with that orangier colour, working that around, transition shade. And you're not adding pigment onto these, just the pigment that's remaining onto it, just to make sure the blend is perfect. Alright, so I think that we've got the crease down pat, and we're going to go ahead and move on to the eyelid, which is going to be the bronzed look. And then we're going to go on with the other eye. To make this bronze eye a really nice clean look, I'm going to cut the crease and then add the shade onto it, especially also because these shades don't pick up just like that, so even if you use Fix Plus, it doesn't work well. You need to use your fingers, and using my fingers will not cut the crease, it will just apply the colour onto my eyelid. So I am just using a flat Crown Cosmetics concealer brush and some concealer, And I'm going to start off by lining that there, just so I'm not adding too much pigment while I'm cutting it. And then slowly bringing that down, dabbing it and bringing it downwards, dab and bring it down. Crease a cut, you're going to go back in with your Anastasia brush that you used to add that black and brown shade. You can dip, I'm going to dip into my cocoa and black truffle at the same time, just to give it that intensity. I'm going to smoke it out throughout the concealer, just to buff out those edges, and then going back from the back, smoking that out, and that will give it more intensity to the look, also more depth. Alright, so the shade I'm going to be using to apply the colour onto my eyelid is going to be Bless. Using from her Obsessions palette, just so I can get that nice bronzed look, I am going to be using this beautiful bronze colour in the middle on top of it, just to intensify it a little bit into that shade here, which is the shade Blessed. And I'm not sure this is going to pick up perfectly, but we are going to just do our best at picking it up. And so far the brush has picked up a decent amount of pigment. Start off by dabbing that around my eye. And you want to be very gentle when you come to the corners of the creases. See, it picks up colour, but it doesn't really apply it too much. If I didn't cut the crease, it wouldn't have applied this colour at all. So, very like foiled shades, but they're not applying. You need to use your hand to apply these shades, and that really makes me upset. I'm just going to go in with that really nice bronze shade from her Warm Brown Obsessions palette and apply that on top, just to give that bronze effect to it. And yes, now we're talking. That's what I'm talking about. So that looks much nicer. And then I'm going to go back in with my Anastasia brush, dipping back into the shade Cocoa and Black Truffle, just to make sure everything is blended perfect. If you're not dabbing, you're just blending, it will just mix with the shimmer shade. Under your waterline, your lower lash line. This I done using her original Rose Gold palette. It looks beautiful. I'm not saying it doesn't look good. I absolutely love this look. It's just the colours don't come out as pigmented, I don't think. Like, now that I've seen her new palette, I'm just going ahead and just want to smoke that out just a little bit more. Seeing her new palette, just looking at it without even feeling it, like on my eyes, it just makes you think that this palette has, like, it's nothing compared to her new palette. So we're going to go ahead and do pretty much exactly the same thing to the other eye. My transition brush, and the first shade again I'm going to be using from this palette is Sandalwood, but using her new palette. And just look at this palette, it just looks so creamy and more pigmentation. So into that shade again, I'm starting off with the corner, already giving me a lot more pigmentation than what that other shade did. So this is giving me a big thumbs up right now, and the way it's blending is absolutely beautiful. It's coming out really nice over the concealer, setting it really good and not creasing too harsh. In just a little bit more to add a little bit more depth into that shade. The next shade I'm going to be moving into, which is a lot more pigmented, is the shade Henna, which is more of your burnt orange shade. So going in again with my Morphe buffing brush, dipping into that shade towards the corners of my eye, again in circular motions, and you can just see that that pigment is coming out really nice. Oh wow. And then again to the front of my eye. That looks so much more nicer than that already. Oh, dabbing that around, and first you just want to swipe it and then dab the shades, dabbing it around that crease line. Oh wow, look at that pigment. Oh my god, that colour from this eye did not even come like that whatsoever. So wow, this is really amazing. I'm going to go in with my transition brush and just work that with each other just to blend them out. That is looking so beautiful. I'm loving this colour. Compared to that, like this colour looks more of an orangier shade than a burnt out effect. Like, it's gone mixed into the colours, and it's this palette, it actually, how do I say, oxidizes on your skin. So one colour can come out and then it'll oxidize when you put another colour on top of it. So I'm actually really happy with the pigment in this palette so far. Brush just to add some more pigment and giving that more of an effect towards the end of my eye. Oh wow, beautiful. I'm absolutely loving this. Wow. She did ace this palette, like she did remaster this absolutely beautifully. My crown brushes, and again using that blending brush, I'm going to be using the shade Cocoa, which looks a lot more darker than the Cocoa from the other palette. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that just to the corners of the eye and dab that. Oh, see, look at that brown pigment. Look, oh wow. And again in a triangular motion. Oh shit, that is so pigmented. Like, that's absolutely beautiful. I have to get another blending brush because I'm not going to be able to blend it out with that because of pigment onto the brush. So just dabbing that around because we don't want to bring that up too high again. Oh wow, I'm absolutely in love with this palette. I don't think I'd ever pick up her old palette again, knowing that she has this palette. And I guess this is why she kind of discontinued the old palette, because she said that she was going to discontinue it. I'm not sure if she's done it already, but I'm guessing this is why she wanted to, because she's made this and it just works out so much nicer. So now I'm just blending that around in the same spots pretty much, because we don't want to bring it up too high, just keeping that brown towards the end. This is looking so much better than the other eye. I'm so angry. Actually so happy because the palette is so beautiful. But compared to the other eye, I'm just using the same brush that I used for my transition again, and working that like that. Obsessed I was when the first original rose gold palette came out. I think we were all obsessed with it. We thought it was like the best pigment. We thought it was so beautiful. We knew that the shimmer shades weren't the best, but we just thought it was like, but I knew it was so overrated. And now that she's made this one, now I know why it was so overrated. This palette is so beautiful. The pigment is just to die for. In with the shade Black Truffle, again using the same brush. Again towards the corners of my eye, the edges of my crease, and just applying. Look at the black. Like, do you remember how I applied that black? Even when it blended out to like a really like light black shade. Oh my god, everything's coming out so beautiful. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend that out. I just realised that I used the Anastasia brush to apply the brown shade just before I used the Crown Cosmetics blending brush. It doesn't matter, guys. Use whatever brushes works well for you. This is so pigmented. Hold on, I just need to finish blending this and then we'll talk. Back in with my brush that I used my burnt orange on, and going back around that just to make sure it's perfect. Going back with your transition brush. And again, I reckon the shade Blessed on here. Let's just swatch the shade Blessed before we apply it. Alright, so that's a swatch of Blessed from this palette. And this is the swatch from Blessed from the other palette. You can see the creaminess in the remastered palette, rose gold palette. Why is that even cracking through? I have to flatten that out just to give that a pat. Alright, now let me just do a swatch. So this is the remastered, and this is the rose gold original. I don't see much of a difference, honestly. They are a little bit, maybe this one has a little bit more pigmentation in it from the new palette, but I don't see too much of a difference in that. But we'll see how it goes on my eyelids, so we're going to go ahead and just cut my crease first. And that, again, I'm going to go in with Black Truffle and Cocoa. So dipping into those shades, there is a lot of fallout in this palette, guys, compared to that. So just want you to see that there is a lot of fallout. I do have to just tap off a lot of excess compared to the other palette, and again dusting those shades on just to create that blend into the corners of the edge and create the blend throughout the eyelid shade and the crease shade. See the black, how much nicer it looks compared to that? You can see the difference, you really can. The test, we are going to be using the shade Blessed from this palette, and then again with the shade on top of it, but we just want to see how pigmented this shade comes out. So we're going to go ahead and dip into it. Again, it carries out a lot of pigment. Same thing, I'm pretty sure it's doing exactly the same thing. So her shadows, her forehead shadows are not made for brushes, guys, at all. Like, you can pick up a little bit of pigment with it, but then you are not going to be able to get the desired look with her foiled pigments. I actually honestly thought that with her foiled pigments they would come out a lot much more nicer this time. Like, at least be able to get picked up from a brush. So the fact that we can't still is really annoying. So I'm going back in with that gold shade and dabbing that around my crease once again. Everything is blended again. I'm not doing eyeliner, I'm leaving the eyes like this. We are going to go ahead and apply mascara and Huda Beauty lashes. But let's just talk about the palette before we move on to that, and I quickly do my base. This palette is my life at the moment. Like, I'm obsessed with this palette. It is so beautiful. Everything about it just works so wonderful. We just need to compare this eye to this. Yeah, I think these edges blended out more nicer together and bounced off each other. They just look so smoothly blended. Compared to here, it does look a little bit more harsher, like compared to her old one. I don't even know if I'd ever touch this one again. Like, for clients, maybe yes, I would be using this, taking this around with me, but this is like my baby now. This is so beautiful. The shades are just amazing. Oh, I'm not going to break it already, am I? Let's just clean it up, and then I'm going to go do my base, and then I'm going to come back to you guys, and then I'm going to show you the finished look. I'm going to do the base off camera because I think we took the eyes a little bit too long reviewing and just seeing the shades, and then we'll see the finished look, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, so while I'm making, I thought I'll come up on here and we'll do my lashes on the camera. So I'm using the Huda Beauty lashes, and we are going to be using the lashes in a Farah, which are these right here. These are my absolute favourite lashes. So I'm just going to go ahead and using my Glam by Manicure Lash Glue. I'm going to apply the lash glue onto the lash line. I'm going to give it a couple seconds to dry. It does sit better when the lashes are dry, so we are going to just give that a second. Alright, so I thought I'll come on here and do my glue also because I'm going to add a little bit of this to my eyes. So I'm using the Huda Beauty Summer Highlight Palette, and look at that packaging. Oh my god. And now we're just going to open it up. So you've got your 4 shades, you've got your cream shade and 3 powder shades. So I'm going to go ahead starting off with St. Troops and applying that up here as my cream shade. And that already gives you that nice pigment to your glow as an undertone. Oh, I'm just going to drown myself in this right now. And the next shade we're going to be going into is Malibu. So I'm just going to be selecting that shade and applying that. You can just deal with that glow, like, look at that glow. Alright, so just for lips, I just wanted to show you this new lipstick. So it's a new makeup brand opening up in I'm going to just show you this new lipstick brand. It's called Kiss All About Makeup. It is a new brand, cruelty free, coming to Australia. Ooh. And they are opening up in the end of August, so come into Westfield Plenty Valley to try out their products. It should be opening up so by the 1st of September. So this is the lipstick. I'm just going to go ahead and open it up, and the packaging is absolutely amazing. It's called Intense Lips, so that's what the lipstick is called. It's Kiss All About Beauty, and this is what the shade looks like. It is absolutely stunning. It is in the shade L273, so they are numbered shades, and this is like a nice pinky rose gold shade. And I'm gonna go ahead Guys, how amazing is this shade? It's so beautiful. It sits so nicely on my lips and it feels so good. It really does. So I'm going to go ahead and set my face with some setting spray. And this is the finished look. So we've got our original rose gold and our remastered re-gold. I'm really happy with the outcome of the look. Yes, the shade from the rose golds are a little bit more like rusty and more, how do you say it? They have more in a rough effect towards the shadows compared to the way the remastered palette blends it out. I'm absolutely obsessed with her highlighter palettes. It just gives you that absolute sun-kissed glow, like you're soaking in glow. Everything about this look I'm absolutely obsessed with. I'm so happy with the way this came out. If you guys did enjoy this tutorial, please let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. If you didn't enjoy something or something else you'd want to see, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, I'll see you all at my next video.